Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Bring You Division video. Today I have something a little bit different for you. Today I want to give you guys some tips and tricks for new players on this game. I do understand Cyber Monday was not too long ago, also Black Friday and stuff like that, so there has been a lot of sales for the Division, and also the holidays are coming up, so again, some new players will be on the game, obviously like with pretty much every game that's out there right now. So I wanted to give you guys some tips and tricks, some things I wish I kind of knew before I started playing the game, and some things to kind of help you out with getting more loot, make better builds and stuff like that. So if you guys do enjoy this video or find it helpful, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for my videos, and let's get right into this. So like I said, this video is mainly going to focus on new players coming into the game. If you are a veteran, this video might be kind of not for you, might be some repetitive information you most likely know about, but anyway, the first thing I want to talk about are actually vendors. So in total, there's 9 vendors in the game. There's 5 in the open world and 4 in the dark zone. The 5 in the open world actually reset every single week, every 7 days. On a Tuesday, they actually reset, and there's 2 in the White House, there's 2 in the settlements, like the theater and the campus, and we also have Cassie Mendoza, which you can find in the open world by looking for the snitch. Once you find the snitch and talk to him, then he's going to give you the location of Cassie Mendoza, where she's located somewhere on the map. Now you also have 4 more vendors in the dark zone, like DZ West, East, and South, and you also have the Thieves Den vendor. But for this video, I'm not really going to talk about them because they are requiring you to use a different currency. It is a dark zone currency, and the way you get that is for playing the dark zone, like doing landmarks and just opening chests in the DZ. And if you are a new player, I really wouldn't recommend going in the dark zone for now at least. You know, maybe until you have a decent build or a kind of build put together, then I would recommend going in there and actually playing it. But for now, again, we're going to be focusing in the open world and, you know, things I would recommend doing in the open world and not in the DZ. So yeah, like I said, checking out those vendors in the settlements, the White House, and Cassie Mendoza is a really good strat to get really good weapons and gear as well. And maybe if you're missing something for your specific build or you want to upgrade your build, checking them out is really good as well. So yeah, check them out. Like I said, maybe you'll find something beneficial for your build. The next thing I do want to talk about is farm/open everything you see on the map. Now what I mean by that is any crate, any box, any backpack, any suitcase you see on the map, open everything from the start. I actually didn't do this from the beginning, and then later on when I got into the higher levels, I was trying to make a build or just kind of recalibrate something. Like later on into the game, I found out that I really had no materials saved up and I had to kind of go back, look for items, farm, and just, you know, it was time consuming, it was kind of annoying. So if you are playing the game from the start, if it's missions, if it's just roaming the open world, whatever the case is, if you see something, open it, farm it, because everything kind of saves up, everything will accumulate, and later on, again, if you're making a build or you want to craft something or whatever the case is, those materials are already going to be kind of saved up. And even if it's not for materials, for like crafting or recalibrating, sometimes they give you some consumables or specific kind of items that you might need in the future for like a bounty or something like that. So again, just open everything, farm everything you see. I'm not saying waste like 2-3 hours just roaming around the alleys and just open, you know, areas like that. I'm not saying that. It's not that, it's important, but it's not that important. But if you're playing a mission or if you're just roaming and going from one mission to another one, if you see some crates, if you see some suitcases or some backpacks lying on the ground right next to you, open them. They're going to give you either some loot or maybe some materials that you will need in the future. Again, I didn't do this. It was kind of annoying later on. So if you are just starting off the game 100%, I would recommend doing this right off the bat. Up next, I do want to talk about the underground in this game. So no, there's no specific system of the underground where you could go there and do missions like you could in the Division 1 if you guys play that game, but there's still a system you can go and actually farm and get a lot of the items that will benefit your build. So the way you actually find the underground is by looking for this mark on the map. Once you find this thing, you go to it, go down the ladder, and boom, you are in the underground system. Now there's 2 reasons why I would recommend farming or going into the underground. First of all is for the faction keys. These keys are actually really good to have on your character in general. You can usually find Hyena keys, Outcast keys, or Black Tusk keys, and these keys are used to open crates you usually find at the end of the mission or sometimes in the middle of the mission that are kind of just sitting there randomly and you can't unlock them. And I know I had this feeling when I first started playing, like, how do you get these keys? How do you unlock this crate? This is what the crates usually look like, and they require these keys to actually unlock them. Now, they're not going to give you anything like magical or crazy, but they're going to give you some decent loot as well. And I do understand when you're starting out, pretty much getting more loot is always better because you really never know what can improve your build. So like I said, farming in the underground for these keys, they are located in medicine boxes, usually on the wall. Sometimes they're going to be just random in random parts of the underground, but sometimes they're going to be in like little hidden rooms that you can find by opening the door. You go in there and there's usually a medicine box on the wall and you can loot it, and you can find one out of the 4 keys that are in the game. So like I said, going in the underground really beneficial for this, to find the keys, but also you actually get a lot of loot from just farming and just roaming the underground. There's always a lot of boxes like cases, there's a lot of just random stuff you can loot in the underground that will give you a lot of weapons, a lot of gear. And if you're just bored of doing missions, if you're bored or maybe can't complete a specific mission, or you're just, waiting for someone to get on and you just want to pass the time, go in the underground, just roam around, see what you could find, see where you can go. And it's really, really good to, again, farm for loot, but also you get materials as well that you can use later on, as I mentioned before, for crafting or recalibrating in the future. If you guys want to see a specific route I do use for the underground, let me know in the comment section below. I could show you guys a really good one that you can go there. It takes about 10-15 minutes. You can go there and find at least like 50 pieces of loot, easily without having to complete any mission. You just roam around. Sometimes you see some enemies there, but most of the time it's just opening crates and just looting. So 45 to 50 pieces easily in like 15 minutes. So hopefully, it can benefit your build. So yeah, that's that. So underground for keys, once again, for loot and materials is really, really good. The next thing I do want to talk about is actually the blueprints, and to be more specific, the attachment blueprints. So this is something I really didn't understand when the game first came out. I was kind of lost and I didn't really farm for these attachments, and later on it kind of caught up to me and I was kind of behind when everyone had already decent attachments for their weapons. I was sitting there with scopes and magazines that gave me optone range and took my damage down and stuff like that. But right off the bat, when you are playing the game, I would recommend going for these attachments. The way you actually get them is 3 different ways. So main story missions or side missions will give you attachments, and you can see by going to the rewards, you can see what kind of reward you will get from that mission, if it's a side mission or a main story mission. Also by doing the daily/weekly projects, which is very, very important. This is where I got most of my attachments, or most of my blueprints, I will say, is from the projects. If it's requiring you to donate materials, or sometimes it requires you to donate specific items like a chest piece or like 10 SMGs and stuff like that, they will reward you as well with blueprints for attachments, but also doing control points. Now, control points can be a little bit difficult depending on your level. Sometimes you can do level 1s pretty easily, but sometimes it's kind of challenging, especially if you accidentally upgrade them to like level 2s and stuff like that, which can be difficult. But definitely go for these blueprint attachments. They are very, very beneficial. As soon as you can do something, or as soon as you see a reward for a attachment, just do it, because it's going to benefit you in the long run. Again, I didn't really do that, and it kind of set me back, and I was sitting there with like crappy attachments, like I said. Doing the control points, really, really good, like I said. Not only are you getting loot, not only are you getting, kind of more farming into it, but you can also get these attachments. Unfortunately, it is kind of random, it is RNG. You can't do a specific control point for a specific magazine or a scope that you want. But once you get a blueprint, you can go to the crafting station, you can see what you unlocked, you can craft it, and then once you craft it, you have it for that specific weapon type. So if it's a SMG, if it's a assault rifle, you don't ever have to find it again, you don't ever have to craft it again, you just have it permanently unlocked, which is pretty good, but it also kind of takes away the grinding sense for different attachments like there was in the Division 1. So yeah, like I said, control points, doing the weekly/daily projects, and definitely doing the side missions or main story missions that reward you with attachments is very, very good. Also, if you go to the crafting stations kind of menu, you can see what attachments you're still missing. They actually updated this not too long ago. I think it was in TU6 that they fixed this or updated this so you could see which ones you're missing. So yeah, pretty cool. Again, no specific way to get certain attachments unless it is from a side mission or a main story mission, and it says it for the rewards. Once you do everything with the side missions, then the next thing is to do is control points or the projects, and that's how you farm your attachments. Speaking of projects, I would highly recommend keeping all your gear that you get from playing the game early on to complete your projects. There was a lot of times where the projects were requiring you to donate like weapons or gear pieces, if it's a chest piece, a holster, or something else. So in the beginning when you're playing the game, just keep all your loot, put it in your stash, put it in your inventory, whatever the case is. Even if it's bad, even if you're not going to use it, some of the projects later on might require you to donate it. So again, that was something I really kind of spoke about in my earlier videos when the game came out, was just save all your loot, save all your kind of junk you acquire for doing the projects, because again, they will give you XP, especially when you're like not level 30 and you're trying to get level 30. It's going to give you a lot of XP, so it can speed up the process of you leveling up, but it's also going to give you some rewards like weapons or gear pieces, and most importantly, attachments that you can use on your weapons. The skills are the next thing I do want to talk about, and this is something I can't really give you guys a 100% recommendation on, because obviously everyone has a different playstyle and everyone will have a different build for PvE. But I'm going to tell you guys what I've been using. So I've been using the Reviver Hive. This thing is a lifesaver, especially if you're playing by yourself. Pretty much if you go down, this thing will pick you up, and it takes forever to regenerate. But once you have it in your back pocket, you pretty much have like an extra life. You don't really have to worry too much about going down, because again, if you go down, it's going to pick you up, and it's really, really nice if you are a solo player, or even sometimes if you're playing with a team, they can get to you if you guys are doing a main story mission. This thing will drop automatically and pick you up. But I'm also using the Fixer drone, and this is something a lot of people don't really like using in the game because it's really easy to destroy. But personally, I just like it a lot. I don't really have to worry about, using my skills. I just pop this and it's automatically healing me. It's a little drone that flies around behind you and repairs your armor whenever you are damaged. But you can also use something like the Chem Launcher. The Chem Launcher is really, really good. And the one I'm talking about is the Reinforcer. It's pretty much a heal you drop. You can drop a bunch of them and it's going to repair your armor as well. Besides that, I really wouldn't recommend using anything else unless you want to go with a assault skill. So maybe like a turret or a seeker mine can benefit as well. But, I would just kind of go with like 2 medical skills. At least that's what I've been doing for pretty much ever. So I just run the Hive and the drone, but you could use something like the Hive and the Chem Launcher to kind of benefit you in PvE. The next tip I do want to mention is don't really worry about builds in the beginning when you are playing. Don't worry about making, something special or something like that. Once you get into the gear score kind of levels, or once you maybe pass level 30, that's when maybe you can focus on having some builds that will benefit you with like damage or survivability and stuff like that. But whenever you are leveling up, especially to level 30, just put on the best gear you have, the best thing that will give you more armor or just a little bit better damage if you are using a AR or maybe like damage to elites and stuff like that. Don't worry about making builds in the beginning. It's not worth it. You're still going to be using something different in the next couple days, so don't worry about that. Again, once you are in like the gear score levels, like 400s or something like that, that's when you should kind of focus on actually making a build that will improve your survivability by a lot, or your damage for PvE. Until then, just again use something that is the highest level or the highest gear score you have at the moment. The last thing I do want to talk about is actually a website. So this website is called divisionbuilder.com, and it's a really, really good website for 2 things. One of them is creating a new build. So when you are reaching that level 400 gear score or the higher gear scores and you want to make a build, you can actually go there and theorycraft a build that you can make. It has everything that's in the game. It does get updated to the recent patches and stuff like that, so you can see what you can make if you want to use a AR build, SMG build, whatever. It's a build guide, and it's a very, very good website. It's going to give you all the good kind of details, so you have a kind of blueprint of what to farm for, what you need to make that build, And especially if you're making your first build, something like this website can really help you out and give you an idea of what to make and what you need to farm for. The other reason why it's so good is because it has a view tab builds section, and you can see a lot of the builds the community has built and pretty much uses in the game, and you can see if it's a damage build, a survivability build, what attachments, what weapon, what gear pieces, what rolls and stuff like that. It gives you a really good idea of what you need to farm for, what you need to use, and pretty much how to make that build. So if you are again struggling to make a build, or if you want some ideas for a damage build or a sniper build, whatever the case is, you can use that website and it will really benefit you. And this is for pretty much anyone. If you are a new player, if you're a veteran player, or if you just, play the game here and there, it's a really good website to actually go on and see some of the builds that are going around in a specific patch and what just people are using. So yeah, that website's really good, highly recommended. I will have it linked in the description below. Anyways, that will be it for the video. Pretty long video, I do apologize for it, but hopefully some of these tips help you guys out or will help you out in the future when you are playing the game. If they do, let me know in the comment section below. If you have some other kind of questions or suggestions, let me know as well. I will try to answer them as fast as I possibly can. But again, thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.